Hello, everybody. How can I? Okay, hide that. Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I've had a long day. I've had a busy day today. I am still trying to learn how to work me going live on YouTube or Facebook. I think I'm going to have to take a day or a few hours like on the weekend and just practice. I figured out how to share my screen on my end. I'm thinking maybe I should put YouTube up and then share that. You know what? I'm gonna try that, and then I'm gonna put my comments over here. We're doing a testing right now, you guys. We test this stuff out because I think that may be better. But I just have to put it on mute. But then I don't know if it's gonna be on mute for my viewers on Facebook. So we're about to see, y'all. So if any of you guys are friends with me on Facebook, um, so I'm gonna put face YouTube on what do you call it? Mute, and then hey Zeta, and then oh shoot, it won't let me. It says post a comment. Hey Vanessa, how you doing? Uh, gosh darn it, I should have did this before. Okay, I'm just gonna close that out. Just gonna close it out, and everybody's just gonna have to see um my page as is. So it's been a long day. You know how you're at work, and I was really trying to get part of a project done. I'm in procurement, and so I had a bid, and I'm trying to evaluate the cost on the bid. And it was nobody's fault. I was just getting a lot of interruptions. So somebody had teams me, well, Precious, this person doesn't see this. And finally I said, I said, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to get this done so I can meet with y'all tomorrow. And I still didn't get it done. There's things that is AOL. I probably got to change something out. Yeah, I got to close this out. Um, some things I gotta analyze for costs for this vid and stuff. So I'm like, and then other stuff kept coming out because I don't just do bids. I have to deal with contracts and negotiations and other internal stuff. And I'm doing year end stuff. So it was just a lot going on. And I was just kind of like this today. I was like, God loves me. God loves me. God loves me. I have a job. I have a job. So that's what I was doing today, but I'm okay. So today's live is about internet trolls. What's the deal with them? What's the deal with them? And the reason why I got the idea to do the live on internet trolls is because the other day I was watching. I think it was their. So I know one is Healy Means, and the other person is called Joy in the Garden. Hey Mike, how you doing, Mike? And Mike, you were on this live. Remember the one with Joy in the Garden and Healy? And they were talking about, is being vegan um sufficient, or what did they say, self-sufficient or sustainable. And there was a person, I remember the name, the vegan anthem. They, yes, dude was wild. He was wild. He He was so rude. And if you've ever seen, I think it's Joy. I think the name of her channel is Joy in the Garden, and Healy means they are so mild mannered and so nice. And what was that noise? I think my mom's fine. I didn't hear her scream or anything. He was just rude. The trolling was unbelievable. So I had made a comment like, hey, this is just a simple conversation. No, just one of those people, nothing you said was getting across to this person at all. And Mike, you had said it best. You had said, if I say I'm an organic gardener and I garden in plastic containers, somebody's going to complain about that. But then if I go and get wood garden bed, somebody's going to complain about deforestation. This person, he was just out of pocket. It was crazy. And so finally I told him, Mike, I said, don't even bother. I said, just ignore him, because he was so rude. I was so irritated, and they were so nice. Yes, Vanessa. People always got something to complain about all the time. So I wanted to get into that. And so of course I Googled some stuff, and I put 2 different questions into Google and got typically the same answer. So one of the Google answers was, I was like, what's the deal with trolls? And then that Google AI overview, because it is AI now, says internet trolls are driven by a mix of psychological traits. What word that kept coming up in everything, even an article I pulled, was psychopaths. Some of them are psychopaths. Okay. So I was like, oh, okay, I feel better. I feel better that it's saying, hey, they're kind of a psychopath. So internet trolls are driven by a mix of psychological traits, platform features, and situational triggers that incentivize them to provoke and upset others online. While it can feel deeply personal when you are targeted, the behavior is almost always a reflection of the troll's own inner state or the ecosystem of the platform itself. So it gets into understanding why people act this way. So it goes into psychological drivers and personality traits. Number 1, it's called the dark teat rat traits. And it says extensive psychological studies link chronic trolling to a specific cluster of I can never pronounce it, malevolent personality traits like sadism. Mike, Vanessa's one of my friends. She's my neighbor. She's my buddy. That's my girl. So sadism, deriving pleasure from others' pain. You have to be a sadist to just sit up there and think that it's a pleasure to just troll somebody. Psychopath, lack of empathy or remorse, like they don't feel your feelings. And to me, that, and I'm gonna say the name, vegan anthem person was a psychopath, because they lack any empathy or remorse or anything we mentioned. They did not care. It was like it went over their head and they didn't hear anything that you were saying in the comments. Then you said Machiavellism, a willingness to manipulate others. And of course, narcissism. Over the years, you've heard a lot about people being narcissists. Bullet point number 2, negative social potency. Trolls often crave a sense of power and control. I don't know why. What are you controlling? You're controlling nothing. I mean, seriously. I cannot pronounce this word. Scandalfruit. Many trolls generally find the distress and misfortune of others to be highly amusing and entertaining. Yeah, it says they were screaming at the wind and not talking. Yeah, just crazy. He was a psychopath. And then attention seeking and boredom. Some individuals use conflict as a cure for loneliness or lack of stimulation, viewing any reaction, even highly negative backlash, as validation that they are being noticed. One thing I didn't notice is that there are people that create content to troll. Thanks, Gina. Good to see you on here. I appreciate it. So yeah, I thought about that, and there are people that create content to pull out emotions of people. So basically, there to me that should be a new study on trolls that create content to be psychopaths, right? Because what about people, for instance, right now? I'm just gonna put a scenario out there: African American men or foundational Black men that don't like Black women. They'll get on here and they will say some horrific things. Hey, Veggie Farming. They will say some horrific things and generalize Black women just to troll people, just to get people's reactions. And when I start seeing stuff like that, like racist comments, because they just want the analytics, they want people to be drawn to that, I ignore them. I don't want to give them attention. But the problem is that I'm not the majority. A majority of the people go and they go for that kind of stuff. Hey, David, how you doing? They go for that. So I think they should add into this information about internet trolls, people that create content, people that are trolling, making trolling content. So the other stuff, so when I put in, it says ordinary people trolling bad moods and stress. The Powlon effect, negativity is highly contagious online. Seeing other people leave aggressive or trolling comments normalizes the behavior, doubling the likelihood that an ordinary user will join in the attack. And then I had put another question, like, why are there trolls? And then people troll on social media basically to seek attention, feel a sense of power, or amuse themselves by provoking emotional reactions like anger and frustration. You are so right, Gina. They are exhausting. I was saying before you and David and Veggie got on that me and Mike, we were watching a live that Joy in the Garden and Healy Means did the other day. And it was called is like something like, is the vegan lifestyle sustainable? Right? And there was a person in there, a troll or cyberbullying person that just I'm gonna say he had a psychopath behavior. He or she, I don't know if it was a male or female, would not, they had no remorse and no empathy for anything else. And Healy and Joy are like mild mannered, very calm people, and they weren't getting upset and they were just ignoring him, and they were like, again, this is just general, I'm not a preacher, this is just information. Yeah, I think it was on Joy's channel, but you could check Healy's too. And he the whole time, and so then Mike came in, and then Mike was saying something, I had said something, and finally I was like, just ignore them. I said, just pretend like they're not even there, because it didn't make any sense. Because I think they get pleasure from seeing that they can get a reaction. Exactly. And this is what they're saying. They need attention. They desire control. And this is my friend Vanessa here. Hello to everyone. You are all so friendly on here. Love this community. Thanks. This is a good community. These are good people. Yes, you gotta ignore the trolls. But they were saying, psychological reasons. They need attention. They desire control, insecurity, and boredom, personality traits. But the one thing that kept coming up, because they, when I was reading through this, they did differentiate cyberbullying, and trolling. But one word that kept coming up was psychopath. Some of them, some of them are psychopaths, and I was like, that is the key word for me, is that they're psychopaths. So I did find this one article from December of last year. Why do people troll online? It mentions how trolling has become pervasive. That research suggests approximately 5 to 10% of internet users engage in some form of trolling behavior regularly, right? And why does this matter? Because trolling isn't just annoying anymore. It's shaping political discourse, mental health outcomes, and even threatening demographic processes. And the mental health outcome is the one that really stuck out for me, because how many times have we seen a child, like suicide rates have gone up? I don't have all the statistics, but because they were being cyber bullied, right? And then that cyberbullying falls over into the school, because all the kids are on social media, and then they're cyberbullying. Then they get to school and they're attacked at school because of some lie or something, some bullying that was done. Because I used to think, well, why do the kids even look at the social media? Just cut it off, just turn it off, right? But that doesn't happen, because the majority of the other kids are not turning off their Facebook or their TikTok or their Instagram or whatever other social media forms they use. And then they go to school and they're getting bullied at school. So, excuse me, it's a mental thing, and I think it's really affecting our youths. Gina said, as long as people don't fall for the bait, the trolls typically move on. Yeah, they do, but they're probably going to move on to something else and create havoc somewhere else, because they're psychopaths, because they're crazy. They are. They're crazy. So you probably can't see it. Nah, you can't. But there's a little table here. Veggie says, no reasoning with or understanding a psychopath, ignore or block. They will escalate. Exactly. So it says, what is trolling? And it says, trolling, deliberately provocative online behavior intended to upset others, disrupt conversations, or elicit emotional reactions for entertainment, power, or ideological goals. Why do people troll? Primarily includes boredom in 28 to 35% of the cases, seeking power of control, 22 or 30% of the cases. And I think when they saying seeking power or control, I think of those podcasts like Red Pill, Blue Pill, or that Andrew guy. I don't watch their podcast, or that gentleman that passed away, Kevin Samuels. Like, I think they're creating content to have power of control and draw people in to troll them. And that's where I see that statistic from. It says 15 to 20% is a sadistic pleasure. 12 to 18% is political or ideological goals. And then in 8 to 15%, it's in-group bonding. So there are people that have these ideologies, probably like the vegan anthem, that will get together and we're going to group bond and everybody should be vegan and should be nothing else. Like, I can say, let me see. I can say, oh, the sky is blue, but you shouldn't kill animals. Like, they have no empathy that the sky is blue, or it's raining outside. Yeah, and we got to save the animals because they're like humans. Like, that person was really going at it the other day. So, yeah. Then it says how to identify a troll. Watch for topic derailment, because that's what they try to do. They try to derail the topic. Like, let's say somebody comes on here and they're like, you look fat. Oh, okay. Yeah, I eat good. That's why I'm fat. They try to derail the topic. Emotional provocations with plausible deniability. new accounts with extreme views and bad faith questioning patterns. So let's see. So trolling refers to, we just got into that, meaning that trolling is intentional pursuit of chaos or distress. So they're just trying to create chaos. We know that. Then they say that there is a spectrum of trolling. So there's a big extreme between trollers. It says some trolls engage in what they consider playful disruption. I'm just going to come in here and play around a little bit, posting absurd statements to see who takes the bait. Others engage in coordinated harassment campaigns that can devastate victims' mental health and even physical safety. So I want to stop there because when me and Mike were on the live, I had told Healy and Joy, I said, you can make they could have kicked the person out. And I said, if you need a moderator, me and Mike are here. Like we're here to kick people out, no, but they didn't really respond to it. So, and I think they were just trying to, ignore the person. I don't know if they were trying to get the views, the watch hours, the analytics, and I understand that, but it was to a point where it was very disruptive. But they're so mal-mannered, and they were so cool. They're just probably, they just let it, just go over their heads. But it was really bad, and it was only a few of us in the comments, and it was just ridiculous. And it says this distinction matters. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. I think scared to lose viewers, but some viewers you don't need. You ever know that saying, all money ain't good money? Yeah, I say let it go. Exactly. They need moderators because those people won't stop. They'll keep coming back, or they can just kick them out themselves. Yeah, they're very sweet. They're like the sweetest people in the world. And that's I was getting very bothered. So I had to calm myself down because I could just start going at it. But I was like, I'm not gonna run up my blood pressure for this food. But it was really, if you can go back, I think Mike was the live on Thursday. It was either like Wednesday or Thursday, or maybe even Friday. But if you check on one of their pages, I mean, and they had really good information, and the person was just not wasn't there. Good to lose that viewer. I've had people come on to, because I like to post funny shorts. This lady named Lindsay on Instagram, I post a lot of her videos because her laugh is hilarious, and she posts some funny stuff, and people are, why are you stealing her content? Or why are you doing this? Or just say the dumbest things. And sometimes I respond, and then other times I'm like, I'm just deleting you. I'll just, like, I think I shared a SNL live. What's the one that says, I'm 50. I'm 50 years old. I forget her name, but I have that skit on one of my shorts because I just love her. And somebody said, this is not even funny. I don't know why you posted it. And that person just got blocked and deleted. Because why couldn't you just skip past the video? It was stupid. People are just nuts. They just need something to do. Like they need a job. Mental illness is a real thing nowadays. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And that person was a psychopath. I'm going to say it. The vegan anthem is a psychopath. He was a complete nutcase. Complete nutcase. So it mentions trolling versus cyberbullying. So the behaviors aren't identical. So cyberbullying typically targets specific individuals repeatedly with intent to harm. Let me make you guys can still see me good. I have these screens. I have two screens plus my laptop, and sometime it'll like click off. So, yeah. But you guys are still here. It didn't kick me out of StreamYard or anything. So that's cyberbullying. Typically targets specific individuals repeatedly with intent to harm. And then trolling, by contrast, often seeks a broader audience reaction and may not focus on a single victim. So, yeah, if somebody is coming to your channel and just always specifically messing with you, block them and delete them. And honestly, they may come back with a different channel. We know a lot of those people that do that cyberbullying and stuff. If you block them, they'll go try to find another channel and come on. They might even try to trick you to be nice for a little while, and then when you really start looking at their comments and stuff, you got to delete them. You got to delete them again, because some of them are just crazy. So the question, why do people troll? And again, it says people troll for reasons ranging from entertainment and boredom to profound feelings of powerlessness in their offline lives. So these people are probably lonely, and you know what they need to do? They need to garden. They need to grow them some food. They need to crochet. I'm not gonna say get a firearm. Sorry, Gina. I'm not gonna provoke no psychopath to get no firearm. But they need to go fishing. They need to learn how to make some soap. They need to go do a hobby, because it says they feel powerlessness in their offline lives. Go volunteer. Go help. I don't know if I want them to help no kids, because they might try to. I don't know. Mike says people find random things, excuse me, to make their faith. This guy religion was veganism to the extreme. Oh my God, yes he was. Nutcase to the fullest. I was like, oh my God. Yep, they often have multiple channels. They do. You got some whack jobs out there. David says, it's like, how many channels you got? Yes. They probably got 50. Well, she blocked me on the vegan anthem, but you know what? I got the Grizzly Bears channel, so I'm coming back. I get the excitement of a new thing like gardening, but as in all things, don't be an extremist. This person was extreme. They were so extreme. And I almost went and was going to go look at their channel to see if they had any, videos or anything, any content. I said, don't even go there. I said, just let it go. I said, I remember the name, the Vegan Anthem. So if y'all want to look them up, you can. But that person was extreme. No, I understood what you said. Definitely don't need a fight. No, that's a psychopath. They're a psychopath. Veggie, my sister had a friend that said she kept an anonymous second channel because she liked to go back and forth with people. That's when I knew she was crazy. Psychopath. You said your sister had a friend, meaning your sister probably caught on and she was a psychopath too. Yep, psychopath. Like, who? I don't have the time to sit up there and have 2 YouTube channels. Like, you don't have a life. Garden, make soap, make candles, start baking. Baking is it's a fattening habit, but it's a good habit. Raise some chickens. Do something. Do some woodwork. I see people buying old furniture and refurbishing it. Find a hobby. Find a positive hobby. I would not encourage a psychopath that likes to cyberbully to go hunt. I will not encourage any type of hunting or spear fishing or any type of firearm for them to use as a hobby. But they need to go find something that's beneficial to the world and stop being annoying. I have people scream at me over squirrels. Why are they mad at you over squirrels? Like, I get mad over squirrels, but I'm not going to yell at you because you're nice to the animals. People that, and it's, I think a lot of this research came out. People that harm animals are prone to be very dangerous. Like what's that man was in the 80s and the 90s, Dahmer. They said Jeffrey Dahmer was like killing animals and beheading them. And what did he do? He was killing people and putting them in the refrigerator. So please keep feeding the squirrels, Mike. I'll just, if I find one here, I'll send them your way so he could be with his relatives on your side of the country. I would think you have to have a different IPN. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know how they do it. They are like, don't feed them salted nuts. I'm not you nutcase. You're like, I'm not wackadoodle. Um, a 2-page freak out. I buy, and I need to buy some more. I buy these nuts that called, I forget what they're called, but they have like a pepper oil on them. So when the birds eat them, like my chickens, they can eat them. My chickens eat them all day long and they're fine. But a squirrel will eat them and they're like, "Oh my god, this is so hot." So when the squirrel was still able to get into the chicken cage, I had those nuts in there, and I looked out the window, and the squirrel was like, that squirrel was so mad. And I was like, that's what you get. I was like, no, go over there because I have a whole almond tree over there. I only got like 4 almonds off of it. That sucker been eating them. But I like almonds, but I don't love them. So I'm like, I'm going to put an almond tree out here. No, you want to eat everything I eat. Stick with the almonds. Why you can't eat the almonds? Squirrels are funny. Let me see. I have a short unenlivening I have a short unaliving a slug, and you wouldn't believe how many people attack me. Now when I was little, I put salt in snails. We would turn it over and put salt. So what? A slug. That was, you know what? You need to go back and see if that was the vegan anthem person saying that you was being harmful to to a slut. People are squirrely. They are squirrely. It's so stupid. My squirrels like that. See, well, I guess California squirrels don't, which I'm shocked because down here we have all type of Latino restaurants and other Asian restaurants and Armenian and African, all type of diverse stuff down here that have spicy food, and my squirrels didn't like it. So I'm shocked why, but I forgot. I don't know if it's called sad squirrel. It's something like that. But I put those nuts out, and them squirrels are like, I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, yes, I did. Because I'm sick of you eating my animals' food. Yeah, I can't believe they got mad over slugs. Did somebody came on my channel and said, your chickens are prisoners. My chickens have the best life ever. They are like, right now it was 101 degrees today. I think right now it's probably like 90 something. Let me check. No, it's 95 degrees. It's 7:30. It's getting dark. It's 95 degrees. So I did throw a whole bunch of ice and stuff, but them squirrels, those chickens have a whole bunch of places in the shade. They dust, they move. I threw ice out there. They was looking at the ice. Your chickens are caged. My chickens are fine. My chickens are eating better probably than any of the other animals around here. They're fine, but just people just be all up in your business. But if I let them out, ain't nobody gonna come through this YouTube computer and squirt down all the chicken poop that's gonna be everywhere. And if they get eaten by a hawk, are they gonna replace it? No. But that was probably the vegan anthem too. That person. People are nuts. Let me see. That's type person. Free the chicken got eaten by the fox. Yep, I freed the chicken and the hawks, and they can hear, like, my chickens will hear the hawks overhead. Like, you'll hear them squawking, and the chickens just stop moving. They, like, if they were out and they just stopped moving, they would be dead. My chickens wouldn't even know what to do, but they hear the hawk and they're like, er. They're like statues. They're like, does he see us? And I'm like, they can't see you because I have like a canopy over them and stuff. My chickens are weird. I am giving them the best life. They get nuts. They get stuff straight from the garden. I cut all kind of stuff straight from the garden. I clean it. I need to go in there and kind of clean up their cage area and put some more ash and stuff in their dustbin. It's just hot. It is so hot. I would have to be out there like right when the sun rises to do all that. And then by the time I come in the house, I'm gonna need to take another shower. So I'm trying to wait for it to cool off. I'm gonna give it another 2 weeks. But they have enough food. They have running water now. That I have a waterer that when it gets low, it pumps water right into it now. Fresh, cool water. And I go unplug it and get all the dirt and debris out of it, and they're fine. They're living their best life. They trust me, them chickens is fine. If they weren't living their best life, they would all be unfortunately unalive. They'd be dead already. So let me see. So it talks about sadism, finding pleasure in others' distress. The most uncomfortable finding in trolling research involves everyday sadism, the enjoyment of causing others pain. Let me see. Y'all are brave to share your animals. Seem like the extremist animal lovers are the worst. They are. And probably half these people don't even have a rodent or a gerbil, in their house. I read up and I studied I read up as much as I could about chickens before I got them. And so far, I've had them since 2023. It's been 3 years. And I started off with four. And in the first year, I lost one. And I was devastated. I almost gave away my chickens or sold them off. And she was my favorite chicken. I mean, she laid big, fat, dark brown eggs, the best eggs ever. And I was like, it would be that chicken. And I love Orpingtons because they're very loving and sweet. When I go in there, they're just ready for me to rub them and stuff. So I love my Orpingtons. And so I lost that one. Then was it a few months ago? So I had got two lavender Orpingtons and two buff. So buff is brown, lavender is gray. So I had lost one of my buffs. So in the beginning in 2024, I had two lavenders and I had one buff. Then I went and I ordered 5 buffs. So I would have 8. 3 plus 5, 8. One of the chicks died. I was like heartbroken. So one of them chicks died when they were, young in the shed. And then I put them out. And so I had 7. And then one of the lavenders died this year. So she lasted 3 years. And I think she had a impacted egg. I was like, oh, I wasn't as devastated as the first, but I just felt so bad. So she was sitting on the perch, and then it just, honestly, it looked like her bottom had blown out. It was full of poop. I was like, oh my God. I didn't see her walking like a penguin, or like there's certain things you notice. I didn't see any of that the day before. And then all the chickens, when I came out there, all the chickens were down and away from her. And then I was trying to grab her with a towel and she jumped off and she went up under the shed. So then I hurried up and I took their little thing that I partitioned and I put it off and I covered it with towels. I did a video of it. It was about a 5-minute video. And then I just, because she wouldn't let me get to her. And then when she passed, I pulled her out. And I thought that one of the chickens couldn't see me, but one of them turned around and saw her. She was like, and I was like, oh, and I think it was her sister. So that whole day, because I only have 1 lavender now and 5 buffs. And so that whole day, that lavender was like calling her. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm so devastated. And I didn't realize that chickens were like so gangster. Like they go by colors and sets. I was like, what's up? Like, what are you doing? So I kind of felt bad for her, but I'm going to wait until unfortunately some more pass away. But what I wanted was to have a variation. I wanted like 2 buffs, 2 lavender. I wanted like 2 blacks, and I think they're like speckled. Like I wanted different colors. But when I went to order them, because I don't get my chickens, from Tractor Supply. I get them from, it's called Backyard Chickies out of San Diego, California. And they ship them to me. The first time I got them, they met up with me. I met up with them like halfway in between San Diego and Riverside County. I met them in Corona. And so I brought home before my 4 chicks, my 2 lavender and my 2 buff. And this time when I got the chickens, did I get them this year or last year? I think I got them last year. I don't remember. Sorry. I can't remember if it was this year or last year. Anyway, they shipped them. And the post office was calling me like, you need to come get your. I was like, they shipped them? So I ran down. The post office was about to close. I had to go like park in the alley and I got the baby chicks. And luckily I had pulled all the stuff out, and I went in the shed and set everything up, but they had shipped them. I wish they would have called me to come meet with them, and that way I could have got everything together and then I could just took them out and get them used to the water and stuff like that. But I had to hurry up and set everything up. And then my brooder, it was a good thing I had bought a new heater for them already, or I had one sitting in there because the old brooder had broke. And so I put the new brooder in there, but it worked out. But I'm not planning on buying no more chickens for a while because I can only handle so much. I think 7 was too many for me. I wanted to have 8. I think 7 was too many, and now I have 6. And 6 is enough for me. So Mike says, okay, here's perfect example. A lady yelled at me over feeding squirrels peanuts. She feeds walnuts. I guarantee you somebody mad at her for feeding walnuts. Yes, people are nuts. They are nuts. Why don't you let your chickens out and go roam? Why don't you like move on? Like I'm mistreating the chickens or something. Like my chickens love me. When they see me come out there, like if they hear that slider, all I hear is and they're up on a perch and they looking at me like mama, because I like to get my chicks when they're like 1 or 2 days old. I like to get them so that way they get used to me. And sometimes they're like bad children trying to jump out. I'll be like, look, you need to stop. But that lady's nuts. You should feed them one. What? The squirrel is going to eat anything it want to eat anyway. So, oh my God. I'm sure somebody else will say, don't interact at all. That's true. The squirrels see me, they run, and the cats see me and they run. I felt bad about the cats, though. I wanted to keep them, but I wanted to catch her, and I just wasn't able. I was about to go out on surgery, and I did not have time to catch that cat, but she was a pretty cat, and she had pretty babies, and one of her babies died. I was like, oh, it was one that was black and white. I was like, that baby died up under my pomegranate tree. I was so sad because of those cats, nothing was coming in my yard disturbing my yard. That, I mean, but she was a 304. She was a hoe. She was out there about to make more babies. I was like, oh no, this can't be the cat house. This cannot be the cat house. You got to go. I actually feed them a varied diet. By the way, you treat those squirrels the best, Mike. You treat them awesome. Yes, my birds lay brown eggs. They vary between a medium brown to a light brown. And I get between 2 to 4 eggs a day because I have 6. So they're like kind of switching when they go and lay eggs. Some days I will get 6 or 7 eggs, but generally I'll get between 2 to 4 eggs. And they're like a light brown, like a medium brown to a light brown. That one chicken, her eggs were like so dark. That it was like she was like the best chicken ever. And it, and I was lucky to get her my first go around. But sometimes chickens just die. I had to talk to Callie Homesteading with Pooh Bear because I was like, Pooh, my chicken died. And I was like, I'm get rid of them. And she was like, girl, don't get rid of your chickens. Keep your chickens. Keep your chickens. She said, don't get rid of them. Even my mom was like, because my mother is not a garden outside person. She's a Macy's, Dillard's kind of chick. She was like, don't get rid of your chickens. Because she was like, I don't want to go out and buy eggs. She's like, I don't want to do that. She was like, you need to keep them chickens. I love watching GT interact with his ladies. Yeah, GT be doing the most, but I could see why, because he's in Alaska and he has to protect them from the cold. GT, I need to check his channel. I don't know exactly what type of birds he has, but Orpington's, the ones I have, are cold hardy. So there's been a couple of times since 2023 it may have snowed once or twice out here. My chickens are in that cage like what? They are big, fat, fluffy chickens, full of feathers. Right now they're starting to shed. Those chickens, they are cold hardy. So I need to see what kind of chickens he has, because he should really just have Orpingtons. And Orpingtons lay, each chicken will lay about 200 to 250 eggs a year. So if he had 4 or 5, he's definitely getting eggs every day. Yeah. But he's good with his chickens. My city squirrels eat literal trash. Yes, they do. So what difference does it make if they have walnuts or peanuts? They out there. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. Animals know when food is ready. Them suckers out there eating my green tomatoes, not my giant green tomatoes, my mortgage lifters. And they were all green, and they know them tomatoes wasn't ready. They're like, 1 tomato, let me bite this one, let me take it later. 2 tomatoes, let me get this one, eat it later. 3 tomatoes, that's what they doing. They bit into, I mean, even my Romas were small. They like bit off half the Roma. I'm just going to bite your stuff to let you know I'm here. And so I went out there and I pulled all my tomatoes. They know they eat literally everything. Fun fact, squirrels understand the concept of trade. Bad for me, they bring me gross stuff. You need to train them on what's valuable. So that way they can trade you for some good stuff. But then again, they are wild, so I don't know if you want to trade anything with them. Just give them stuff and let them move on. Let me see. I'm like, no, I don't want your piece of hot dog. They're like, what? It was good. They put mustard and sauerkraut on it. Why don't you want it? Yeah. Oh, Mike. Oh, so funny. Let me take a sip of water here. It's cute when they bring me empty walnut shells, like they getting over on me. They're like, yeah, we eat the nut, but can't he figure out that, we done ate this nut already? God, so funny. So a little bit back to trolling. So occasional trolling might reflect temporary boredom or experimental boundary testing, particularly among younger users still developing digital citizenship skills. I just think it's just people just being obnoxious because they bored. Um, Persistent trolling, targeted trolling, often signals deeper psychological patterns or ideological commitments. Yeah, they're crazy. They're psychopaths. That's the key thing I got from all this research is that trolls are psychopaths. Let me switch over here. Machiavellism. I know how to say that word just because of Tupac and his CD, Machiavelli. Which is strategic manipulation. They view online interactions as games where manipulation is simply a valid tactic. These individuals scoring high on Machiavellianism don't necessarily enjoy causing pain. They're more interested in demonstrating their cleverness, controlling conversations, or achieving specific outcomes, like derailing discussions about topics they oppose. To me, they're not smart. To me, they're not that smart because I'm cutting you off. They think that they're smarter than you. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are. And then I'm cutting them off like boop, deleted from my channel because I don't have time for all. No, if you have a real life and you have responsibilities and you have real hobbies, nobody has time for your little stupid games. Nothing on social media is real. Like my background. I wish I could play a piano and have a fireplace, but social media was invented. People are able to profit off of it, but in the real scheme of things, even our money is not worth anything. We're not even on the gold standard. So what are you doing? You're being a nutcase. You're being a psychopath. To me, when you are making furniture, when you are gardening, you're producing something. I can grow my own food. I can cook it. I can preserve it, and I can eat it. If I had acres of land, I could farm it, I could sell it. I got chickens. If need be, my hens are egg and meat birds. But I'm not going to do that, or else I'm not going to have any eggs. I'm not going to take them out. Make soap, do something beneficial, make crochet, make clothes, sew, make soap so people can clean themselves, make candles so when the lights go out, you can sell candles to people and people can see in the light at night. Do something beneficial. You thinking you're smarter than me because you know some specific statements that are going to antagonize me is stupid. Just because it's a game to you. Bye. I don't have time. Now, maybe some people in the younger generation will go back and forth. I don't have time. I have a mother I have to care for. I have a niece and nephew in another state that might need me. I have brothers. I have family. I have an uncle that live around the corner from me. I don't have time for your games and not in nonsense. It's stupid and unnecessary. Some people tolerate trolls saying they are special needs. Well, I say, where's their guardians? They are special needs. They are psychopaths and they need to be specially locked up somewhere. So something's wrong with them. This article does mention that there is a place for trolls, but I didn't even look at that because to me, there's not. Kind of like serpents. I don't like snakes. They rid the world of rodents and stuff, but then there are crazy snakes that will kill you. And that's how I feel. There's no need. There's no need for them for me. If they are that unwell, they need not be free to roam online. Amen. Again, and they should not be given any firearms to say, I'm going to hunt. What are you hunting? I need to know. Don't tell me you hunting humans, because that's illegal. So then they have social identity and in-group bonding. Trolling frequently serves as a bonding mechanism within certain online communities. When individuals troll together, coordinating attacks or sharing successful provocations, they strengthen in-group identity and belonging until one of them get mad at the other, and then they gonna turn, and then they group gonna be divided. I don't see the point. We already talked about boredom and entertainment. Let's see. My video is doing this thing again. Is it going to come back? Let me pull this out. Give me just a moment. I hate when it does this. Go in there. Come on now. You can do it. Okay. It'll come back. It popped up. So it says power and control in powerless lives. That's what I think, that they don't have no power in their lives. That's why a lot of them don't put pictures of themselves on their thumbnails, and they're just living, they hide behind stuff. So it says trolling often reflects broader systems of disempowerment. When individuals feel powerless in their offline lives, economically precarious, socially marginalized, or politically voiceless, online spaces offer rare opportunities to affect others and matter, even negatively. So now they're online. No one really knows who I am. I'm hiding, and now I matter in some way. So I'm going to troll you because this matters, because they're powerless. Well, find some power in your life. Again, do a hobby. Take a guitar lesson. Take some singing lessons. I don't know. Do something. Build art with glass. Find some painting. Do some ceramics. I don't know. Find something to do where you have some type of power. If you feel powerless, you need to figure it out. Again, psychopath, go see a doctor. Here's one. It says and this is still under power and control in powerless lives. When young men who constitute the majority of trolls face declining economic prospects, social isolation, and cultural narratives questioning their relevance, some channel that frustration into online aggression. I think that's kind of sad. And I get it. When you're having problems financially right now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm looking for a second job. Why? Because I want a roof over my head, and I need clothes on my back, and I need food, because things are just getting tough. So I'm looking for a second job. I have a job. I'm blessed to have a good job. I've been taking classes to get certified and stuff, and I'm just trying to supplement income. And it could be hard, but that's also part of adulting. So if you have declining economic prospects, sometimes you have to start again. Sometimes you have to start on the bottom. I left the job in 2024 where I was a manager, and it wasn't really lower paying, but title wise, I wasn't a manager. And the first thing they asked me was, are you going to have a problem with not having a title manager? And I was like, no, because I was over it. Because right now, for me, my job is to work and to take care of my mother. My mother will be 79 years old. I'm trying to spend time with my mother as long as she is on this earth, and I can, because you only get one mom, right? Yeah, it's easier to blame others than take action. So you feel like you're failing. Basically, what this is saying to me, you feel like you're failing in some way in life, and so you want to take your aggression out on people online, and that's something to deal with you internally. You need to fix it. Not everything is going to go your way. In fact, a lot of things in life for me have not gone my way, but I'm not going to go out and get aggressive with people because life's not going my way. You got to deal with it. It's called adulting. So let me see. And then here's a good question. Are we creating trolls? Are we creating them? And said, here's a debate worth having. To what extent does platform design actually encourage trolling? This remains contentious, but I'll state my position clearly. Social media companies have built engagement maximizing algorithms that reward provocative content, including trolling. I said that this is kind of what it's invented for. They have no job because of insert group here, and not because they live in a basement smoking weed. Yep. And not because they sit in the basement smoking. Yeah. Wasn't Hands in the Dirt just talking about weed today? Like how in Texas and it's about to be really illegal. And he said in Georgia, Atlanta, you get a ticket, but other surrounding areas, they gonna hem you up. So be careful with the weed. And it goes on to say, think about it. Platforms profit from user engagement. They do. Like right now, of course, we all know YouTube wants you to have more watch hours. I had already decided, because I have been thinking for about a year or two that I need to start doing more live. So I had already decided. It came up now with the watch hours, because I always believe that YouTube is not a race, it's a marathon. People are going to like you or they're not going to like you. And I appreciate everybody that comes to my channel. But YouTube is a business. And if they see where other platforms like TikTok and Instagram and X or whatever else may be taking away from their profit, they got to find a means to make up that profit. So that's why now they're coming up with, you got to have the 8,000 watch hours. And do I like it? No, it affects me because I've been doing this for a while now and I have not gotten up to 4,000 watch hours. But it says here, platforms profit from user engagement. So I'm trying to learn how to use it more. It says controversial, emotionally charged content generates more engagement than nuanced discussions. Like this will probably be a nuanced discussion. Trolling creates argument threads that keep users scrolling, clicking, and returning. Research examining algorithmic amplification has shown that content provoking strong negative emotions often receives greater algorithmic promotion than neutral or positive content. That was a mouthful. Yeah. So when you got trolls and when you have people that are troll content creators, so that's what I'm going to call them. They're creating content to bring people in. They're actually trolling us. Oops, hit my arm. It's user engagement. They want to see it. That's their job. That's what the platform is for. How to identify trolling? Practical signs. So it has trolling indicators, trolling derailment, consisting steering conversation off topic, especially toward inflammatory subjects, why it matters and indicates intentional disruption rather than genuine engagement, exaggerated certainty, absolute statements designed to provoke and lacking nuance. So genuine discussion involves some uncertainty. Trolls seek reactions, not truth. They don't care about the truth. Just like the vegan anthem. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about compromise. They don't care that there's two sides to a story. When we have mentioned, well, we understand what you're saying. It wasn't you, it was somebody else that was on there with us, Mike, too. And they said, when you have a single mother that has kids, she's going shopping to find the best deals to feed her kids. She's not worrying about the feelings of the animals. And it went right over that person's head. See, they're not seeking truth. They were seeking to get reactions to what what was saying in the comments. So the next one is bad faith questions. Like they'll say, just asking questions that imply offensive premises creates a plausible deniability while spreading harmful ideas. Then pattern recognition, similar provocative behavior across multiple threads and platforms. That's what I'm saying. Some of these people, they come in and you block them and they got another identity on another platform and they're still coming at you. Suggest systematic trolling rather than one-off frustration. And then the last one, emotionally charged language. Deliberately offensive and inflammatory word choices designed to trigger emotional rather than thoughtful responses. When was it? It was in 24 when my father went missing, because many of you know my father has dementia. He did 2 terms in Vietnam and he had PTSD and now he has dementia. He's at a lockdown VA facility. Well, one day he went missing. And so when we found him, we ended up finding him at St. Francis Hospital in Linwood, California, of all places, and he was perfectly fine. Got nicked by a Metrolink train and came out like iron, perfectly fine. And I went live because I was on my way home. I was actually at the Ontario Mills Mall charging my car, and so I went live, and this guy got in there and he was saying all types of crap. And I think Mike was in there. I think Hands in the Dirt was in there. And I think you guys got them out. I think I had to make you moderators. I thought you were already moderators, and had to get them out. And this was he was just using some far off language. And I said, so you come in here and I'm talking about my father was missing with dementia. And that's what you say. Psychopath, right over their head. They just wanted to have a reason to come in and start something. And so you got them, get them out. And that's why I was hoping Healy and Joy would have made us moderators that day, because that person needed it's not all views are worth it if it's going to be a drain on your brain. And that person was draining everything. So here he goes. It's blocking out again. I hope you can still see me. So I'm about to get off in a minute because my computer's acting wonky. But I just wanted to talk about that. That really, I'm always thinking about something that we can discuss when I'm coming on this late. Probably in fall, I'll probably start coming on at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, because I know like where Mike is probably going on 10, 11 o'clock right now, and you guys are getting tired. But I just thought, I was like, wow, these trolls, these cyber bulliers are absolutely ridiculous. And it just makes no sense. But it's always going to be there. Because why? Because we have psychopaths in our society that are unhappy with their lives, and because they feel powerless, they're going to come on and try to cyberbully. And it's up to us to ignore them and block them and shoo them somewhere else where their trolling is beneficial and get them off our channel. So do you guys have any questions or anything regarding the subject? If not, I'm going to say, please check out the recall video. I did a recall video yesterday. More people on planet, more trolls as well. Exactly. The trolls are going to be there. So it's up to us to learn how to deviate and get around them and just ignore them. You have trolls at work. You have people that will say things just to tick you off and annoy you at work. Just to do anything. So it's up to us to learn how to deal with them. It is what it is. But like I was about to say, go ahead and check out my recall video that I put up. Usually those videos are an hour long, but it does have information. It tells you, about food recalls in other states. I did mention a dog food recall. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. You're welcome. Yeah, because we need them. We need the recalls right now. I mean, I would share my screen. There are recalls popping in about the salmonella. So now we have eggs with salmonella, and now we have in the jalapenos with salmonella. Outshine. And I used to buy these bars, and I said it on the video. I usually buy I used to buy the pineapple and coconut Outshine popsicles, or the pineapple popsicles. There's been some that have glass in them. So you could imagine you're trying to give your baby a popsicle and they're sucking on glass. There was another one that had metal in it, a sourdough bread. Somebody said they found a nail. Yes, Mike. I used to love those Outshine bars. So I mentioned in a video, I said, go online and get you those Amazon popsicle things. Back in the day, used to be able to, in the 70s, we had the popsicle things where you can make your own popsicles. Get you some juice, get you some Kool-Aid, make it, and freeze them and make your popsicles for your kids. I'm not trying to hurt any company, but when you got glass, and especially in the summertime, as it's been so hot around this country, and you giving your baby an Outshine popsicle bar and there's glass in it, we got a problem. Either fix what you're doing or let it go, like Tyson had to let people go. You said the bread yeah. So most likely what happened is the bread was on a pallet or something, and a nail got in there, but they had to do a recall on it. And so the recall for the eggs, the CDC kept mentioning egg shell. Well, most eggs have a shell, but yes, all kind of stuff. There was one food, it came from China. It's called ganguri or something like that. Anyway, the reason why they did a recall is because it didn't have inspection. But I read the ingredients on it. Everything in that jar was organic. There was no corn syrup or or nothing in it. Everything in there was good and natural, and nobody had got sick from it. Just that it was from, I think, the Republic, China or whatever, and it came to the US. And so because it hadn't been inspected, they put a recall on it. We are paying our hard money for these things. Yes. Tommy Bites. She did a live today. I don't know what grocery store she was at, but she was saying, how, have you guys heard of Affirm? I've used Affirm. I used Affirm when I was doing the certification class, so you could pay for stuff. So it looks like now people are able to make payments on their groceries. Like, hey, go buy you a cart full of groceries, and you could pay $59.99 a month on your groceries. And that's why we've been telling people to grow their own food. And I get it. Some people live in apartments. Some people may not be able to grow their own food. But you got to figure out something. If you have a balcony or if you have a patio, get you 3 containers. Grow you some potatoes. Grow you some onions. and grow you some peppers. Figure out what to grow in those containers. Get as many containers as you can. And if you have 5 potatoes, onions, garlic, lettuce, and something else. Grow you something. Get you a lemon tree. You can always grow a lemon and squeeze it and make lemonade and squeeze it on your fish you're going to make at home. Figure out a way. You're going to have to figure out a way. If you're not going to be able to eat. That's why I'm looking for me a second job so that I can continue to live in my glorious, wonderful house and go out to my garden and eat. I'm just trying to survive. And what the stuff with our food supply and how corporations are they're pushing people to find a way. They're pushing people to hold on to their vehicles with all these subscriptions. They're pushing people to go and get their computers fixed because they just keep trying to make you have all these subscriptions and do all this stuff. And then I think you said it best, Mike. I think it was you last night. While we're eating fake meat, the corporations are eating real cow. And we're not. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? My friends live in Costa Rica, and there's an area in Costa Rica, and they live in a fairly nice area of Costa Rica, but there's another area, big area that's gated off where politicians and wealthy entertainers and everybody lives there, and you drive past it and they have cows and they have goats, and they're like prepared for like Armageddon. And there are many places like that, probably in Portugal, many places like that. And that's why we've been telling people, if you can, families need to start pulling together the way they did in the early 1900s, as this younger generations say. Right, the CEOs is not eating the stuff we get out the market. They got a cow that they get processed. They pay a farmer. I want Daisy that cow next year. And they raise that beautiful cow, and then they slaughter it and they save it and put it in their freezer. They not eating the stuff from Kroger. They're not eating stuff from Vons. Oprah and Beyonce got their own garden. Beyonce is allergic to a lot of stuff. I read an article, and she has beehives. Remember, she has not just her beehives of fans, she has beehives for honey, baby. Okay? So we don't have their money, but we can think on a smaller scale of we could think on a smaller scale of what we can do differently. I'm trying to find a second job because I got bills to pay, and there are things that I need to do. I want to get rain gutters and have a rain saving system. I've had some setbacks with family with health problems, my own health problems, but I have to think positive. I said, thank God I have a garden, and thank God I have chickens, and I have been eating at home every single day. I've been eating at home. There's no reason for me to go out and get a burger when I got cows sitting in my freezer. The other day I pulled out a pack of, and me and my friends went on the cow, and I pulled me out some patties. My mom was like, "Ooh, that meat was so good." I was like, "Yeah, that was part of that cow I bought." And we'll probably be buying some more next year, along with some pig and some chickens. But now it's going on 10:30. It's 10:18. Well, it's 8:18 here. Veggie says, the things they pay people to do, we have to learn to do for ourselves. Amen. Facts. We have to learn how to do it. Homestead Heart. Oh my gosh. Homestead Heart. It was a few years ago because, they got turkeys, they got chickens, they got ducks. They still trying to find a cow. 1 year she did a video on processing chickens because they have meat birds and they have egg-laying birds. They have acres of land. Becoming a farm girl. Oh my God. Becoming a farm girl. She is, I love her. She lives in a townhouse and she grows everything in her green stock. She might have about 7 or 8 green stalks. And if you know her, she's cooking. She has limited storage, limited everything. But she has this area up under her house. She partnered with a woman and was helping her. Yes, I love Cassandra. That's her name. I love her. This woman taught her how to process quail. Cassandra has been hunting and she came home with a deer and she processed the whole deer. I think twice. I think she's done it twice. That girl is doing the most in a small space until her and her husband are able to get a bigger home. She will tell you about sales, how to read the farm stuff. She is awesome. I absolutely love her. I love Homestead Heart. Because of her, I got my grain meal in my kitchen, which I'm probably going to start using because my mom was like, what is going on? My mom, who was a person that loves to eat out and do stuff, my mother was like, they trying to kill us. They trying to kill us. So we have to start thinking of a way to survive. I mean, literally, my mom's, my mother was a single mom. And she goes, I don't know how single mothers are doing it. She said, I don't know how they're doing it. I'm a single woman. I don't have any kids, but people, oh, you spend money. No, I don't. I got savings binders up there and I'm hustling with the rental property. I get tired. Now I'm looking for another job. I do notary on the side when I can. There's only so much, even I can do. So I have to try to supplement my income by growing food and seeing what else I can do. My mom's like, well, I'm here to help. And I'm like, well, do you have an extra $1,000 left? And she looked at me. I was like, no, you don't. I said, you don't. And I said, I'm not mad at you, Mom. I said, I'm just saying reality. Cause she was like, I just don't want you to be tired. I said, well, do you want to move? Cause I don't want to move. My mortgage is getting paid, but stuff is getting really tight. And I would prefer to go out and get a second job and still garden and do what I can do. And because I don't want to move. I can't go rent. Rent in California is more than my mortgage. So you have to do it. You have to do. It's called adulting and it happens. So I need to go get a second job and I need to get some bills down. And I even have to start making some changes. Like I'm like, Mom, we're going to probably have to start figuring out a way. Like I can make butter. I learned how I made butter. And then I took the buttermilk the next day and I made pancakes. I said, we need to be doing more of that. She wants to go to Costco. I said, I want to go to Costco and get paper towels and stuff. I don't feel like dealing with I call Costco the $1,000 store. I don't feel like going there. I'd rather go and buy me some heavy cream from Smart and Final and put my milk in my KitchenAid and make some butter. Yes. I recently, last month, I didn't get all my rent because I had some serious plumbing stuff. First, we had a leak from the rains in like February. So I finally got that fixed. And luckily, the person who rents my condo is a contractor. So he gave me the bill and I said, take it out of the rent. Then had a plumbing issue. The plumbing was so bad, the plumber was there for 3 days. 3 days. And had to get the bill for that. Whatever they did upstairs would come to the downstairs toilet. And my condo is almost 50 years old, so he had to come there and he had to keep getting longer and longer and longer snakes and get everything out all the way out to the sewer main to get it out of my condo. And he said, the plumber said it was just years of backup hair, grease, whatever else was going on, and it just backed up. So that was another cost. So the rent I got from my tenant was very short. But you know what? It's either that or I pay out of pocket. And I said, fix it. And we are good. So stuff like that is happening. Me with the knee surgery, I have a medical bill. I have a $1,400 medical bill. In fact, I just paid the hospital because I have been having physical therapy and dizzy spells and stuff. I had to pay them like $890. Now I had to make payment arrangements on this $1,400 medical bill because of my knee, because I have a PPO. Because when I use HMOs, you can't go where you want to go. So I prefer to use HMO. You just got to do it. And then this year, what else? I had to put a new hose bib. I had a whole day where people were out here doing stuff. I had to get maintenance on my HVAC. The hose bib was about $450. The HVAC stuff, that was about $800 and something dollars. Then I've been here 10 years. I hadn't had my windows professionally cleaned. I finally went and got my windows professionally cleaned. That was about $600. I've been coming out, not $100 here or there. I've been coming out of pocket thousands of dollars. So therefore, I need to go find me another job. So that way I can get my savings back up and now reduce my credit card bills, because that's what they're there for, right? And I have to be adulting. I have to get stuff done. I have to get it done. And I need a roof over my head. I need clothes, and I'm going to have food. So that is it. We went from trolls to me looking and adulting for a second job. But I'm going to let you guys go. Please check out the recall video to see if any of those recalls affect you. I'm still going to keep trying to come to you. Boo. Yeah, boo adulting. Man, adulting ain't easy. Just like Snoop Dogg said in the 90s. Was it Snoop Dogg? Somebody else said pimping ain't easy. Adulting ain't easy. But check out that recall video to see if any of it affects you. And I believe next Friday, on the 28th or 29th, Pescatarian Gardener and I will be doing our monthly roundup to see what has been going on in the month. And we're going to be coming to you monthly and doing that. And usually the week that we do the monthly roundup, I probably will not have a Wednesday live, just to probably give you guys a little break from seeing me in my crazy themes that I talk about. Yes, monthly roundup. So that's it. So as I always say, please find peace within yourself, and please be peaceable with everyone around you. I love you all. Have a fabulous evening, and please get some rest. Bye, everybody.